The voice in the mirror. In the quiet village of Willowbrook, tucked between hills that rolled like soft green waves, lived a curious girl named Lina Hartley. Lina was 10 years old, with bright hazel eyes and hair that curled like question marks, which everyone said matched her curious personality. She loved exploring, discovering, and imagining. Every day felt like an adventure waiting to happen. Among all the places in her home, the one she loved most was her grandmother's attic. It was a treasure chest of forgotten memories. Old paintings, wooden trunks, dusty lanterns, and stacks of ancient books that smelled like stories waiting to be read. One warm afternoon, sunlight filtered through the attic window like golden ribbons. Dust danced in the beams, shimmering as if tiny stars had come down to play. Lina was rummaging through a box of old toys when something caught her eye. A tall object leaning against the farthest wall, covered in a velvet cloth. It wasn't as dusty as everything else. In fact, it looked strangely clean, almost polished. Lina tilted her head, her curiosity bubbling. "How have I never seen you before?" she whispered. She walked closer and with a small tug, pulled the velvet cloth away. Underneath was a beautiful oval mirror, framed in curling silver vines carved like growing ivy. The glass was so smooth and bright that Lina could see her reflection clearly, perhaps too clearly. As she traced the frame with her fingertip, a soft breeze brushed her ear. Then she heard it. "Hello, Lina." Lina jumped back, almost tripping over an old wooden chest. She looked around wildly. Hello. She expected her grandmother to appear or maybe the wind to whistle again. But no one answered. No one except a mirror. Lina stared. Her reflection stood in the mirror, but something was wrong. Terribly wrong. The reflection smiled. Even though Lina wasn't smiling at all. The reflection raised its hand, and Lina felt a lump in her throat as it waved at her eagerly, like greeting an old friend. The voice came again, soft and musical like wind chimes drifting through night air. "Don't be afraid. I've been waiting for you." Lina backed up until her shoulders hit a stack of boxes. Who are you? And how do you know my name?" she stammered. Her reflection blinked gently. "I am Valera," it said. "I live inside this mirror. I have watched this attic for many years, hoping someone like you would come." Lina gulped. Someone like her. What did that mean? Her voice shook as she whispered. "Why me?" "Because you have a curious heart," Valera said, smiling warmly. "Only those who believe in wonder can hear my voice." The mirror shimmered softly, glowing with a gentle golden light. "And only someone brave can help me." Lina's heartbeat quickened, not entirely out of fear. Part of her felt excited. She stepped a little closer. "Help you? With what?" Valera's reflection moved independently again, lifting its hand and pointing toward the surface of the mirror. "There is a world inside here," she said. "A world full of stories, beautiful magical stories, but they are fading away. The magic that feeds them is disappearing." Lina blinked. "Stories? Fading?" Valera nodded sadly. "I am the guardian of this place. But I cannot save it alone. Only someone from your world, someone who believes in imagination, can help restore its light." Lina hesitated only a moment before whispering, "What do I have to do?" The mirror brightened. "Come inside," Valera said softly. "I will show you." A swirl of cool air brushed Lina's face as the glass rippled like water. Colorful sparks drifted from its surface. Blue, gold, pink, and silver. Lina took a deep breath, squeezed her hands into fists, and stepped forward. In an instant, she felt weightless, like floating through a soft cloud. A whoosh filled her ears. When her feet touched ground again, she wasn't in the attic anymore. She was standing in a forest unlike anything she had ever dreamed of. The trees glowed with shimmering leaves that shifted colors with every tiny breeze. Little orbs of light floated between the branches like curious fireflies. And the sky. The sky had 3 glowing moons arranged like a crown. Lina gasped. "Where am I?" "This is Mirroria," said a voice beside her. Lina turned and saw Valera, not as her reflection but as a shimmering girl made of soft light, rippling like moonlit water. Her hair flowed like silver mist, and gentle sparkles drifted around her every time she moved. "Welcome," Valera said kindly. Lina's eyes sparkled with wonder as she took in the glowing flowers, the shimmering rivers, and the animals that looked like they had stepped out of a fairy tale. A bird with crystal feathers flew by, singing notes that sounded like bells. A tiny deer with soft rainbow fur peeked from behind a glowing bush. Everything was magical. But as they walked deeper into Mirroria, the light around them began to dim. The glowing trees flickered. The floating orbs of light drifted downward like dying stars. The air grew heavier. "What's happening?" Lina asked, her voice trembling slightly. Valera's expression grew sad. "The stories are fading. Every light in this forest holds a story created long ago. When people stop believing in magic, these stories lose their strength. Some have disappeared completely." Lina's heart sank. She could feel the sadness in the air, like a forgotten melody. "Isn't there anything we can do?" "There is," Valera said, her voice brightening. "Somewhere in this forest is the heart of reflections, a crystal that keeps Mirroria alive. But it has dimmed, and only someone from your world can rekindle it." Lina nodded bravely. "Then let's find it." They walked past glowing lakes and ancient fallen stars until they reached a clearing. At the center stood a tall crystal shaped like a teardrop. Once it must have shone brilliantly, but now it flickered weakly, like a candle nearly out of flame. Lina approached it, feeling warmth radiate from its core. "What do I do?" she asked softly. "Just remember," Valera said. "Remember every story you've ever loved, every dream you've ever had, every moment you believed in something magical." Lina closed her eyes. She thought of fairy tales her grandmother read, of fireflies, of wishing on stars, of imagining worlds no one else could see. She thought of wonder, curiosity, and then the crystal glowed, brighter, until the entire forest burst with light. Colors rippled through the trees. The moons shone like never before. The air hummed with renewed magic. Valera gasped softly. "You did it, Lina. You saved Mirroria." Lina smiled proudly. But as she looked around, a gentle pull tugged at her. The world was growing blurry. "It is time to go back," Valera said gently. "But remember this. Magic never disappears as long as someone believes in it." The forest swirled into silver mist, and Lina felt weightless once more. When she opened her eyes, she was back in the attic. The mirror stood before her, glowing faintly, and her reflection smiled, this time perfectly in sync. Lina touched the glass. "Will I ever see you again?" she whispered. The reflection shimmered. "As long as you keep believing, I will always be here." And from that day on, whenever Lina looked into the mirror, she didn't just see her reflection. She saw a world waiting. A world kept alive by curiosity, courage, and magic. A world she once saved, and could visit again any time she dared to believe.